So, with Yugioh's journey starting with a duel against Yuhi, it's only natural that his potentially last duel would be against the other twin in Yugioh. Hello everyone and welcome to Dueling with Downton, and today we're talking all things episode 101 of the Yugioh Go Rush anime series. And what a crazy turn of events from this episode we got. From Yugioh taking over and stating that she will become Otis, to Yugioh stepping up for his possible last duel. Now, I want to start off by talking about Yugioh's character, as this plot twist was great for her, and it makes a lot of sense that honestly, we should have seen coming. Because after all, Otis in Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s is synonymous for using two certain monsters. Well, maybe three, but we won't count the other one just yet. Otis uses Blue Eyes White Dragon and Red Eyes Black Dragon. Both are cards that have a Rush Duel variant. Bluetooth Burst Dragon and Red Boot Dragon. Two monsters that are synonymous with the character of Yugioh. Now, with Yugioh having seen Yuga's memories, it could also explain how Otis in 7s always seemed to know an answer that would help guide our cast in Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s. So again, we're starting to see a few little connections and teases as to whether or not Yugioh could actually become Otis. The whole Yuga abandoning his future and becoming the world's enemy was a really cool concept as well, as it does fit his character in how he wants everyone to be happy, even at the cost of something that relates to himself. Just look at how he got into the series of Go Rush in the first place. He sacrificed himself so that his friends could live a better future. Seeing the new 7's Road fusion where she becomes a kawaii cat girl was so cool and super cute. But we do get more cat connections within this episode, as we're talking about the Odo cats from when they travelled to the future. They also have Yugioh using Stray Familiar in this episode, and I think this card is meant to represent Yuga, as the flavor text for this card reads, "A familiar said to hold great power, but doesn't like being alone and is very alone now that it's been separated from its friends." Sound like anyone we know? But with Yugioh joining Yuga's side, I don't dislike it, as I can see her character doing this. But what happens if she fails? Will she leave with Yuga? After all, her relationship with Yuhi could be slightly fractured after these events. Now, I still agree that Yugioh does care about the Vulgarians, but after seeing Yuga's memories and seeing all of the pain and suffering he's had to endure, plus all the loneliness he has dealt with while being here, and the fact that they are related by blood, I feel like that just boosts her commitment to Yuga's cause. Plus, one thing that's really bugged me about this whole bring back the Vulgarian situation is the fact that a lot of the Vulgarians looked at death and greeted it with a smile. As warriors, they almost welcomed it, and reviving them now seems like we're taking that honour of death away from them, making it so that their cycle of life, death, and reborn again will just keep continuing. Granted, a lot of these deaths came too early, and as a surprise for these characters, but characters like Yugioh definitely wouldn't like this. Now, Yuki's character does puzzle me a little bit, as he wants the Vulgarians to come back, both for Yugioh and for himself, as they are friends and he's friends with a lot of them. Which I get. However, Yuki still doesn't seem to understand that despite seeing Yuga's memories and travelling to the future, what Yuga is actually sacrificing and standing for in this situation. It was fun seeing Yuki use 7's Road Magician, and he did a good combo throughout this duel. Summoning a maximum and that creating a rift in space and time was a cool idea on how to open the door back to the future. I would like to see if they use this plot point as part of the duel's resolution. Maybe we go into the future where the Vulgarians are actually revived, and this is how we lead into the next season. It turns out that the Vulgarians have conquered the galaxy. Obviously, they would have had to explain how they haven't dueled Luke yet in the future, but Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s, I can see them kind of coming up with some comedic ways of how Luke has evaded them so far. Bringing back to the topic of Monster Reborn, however, I loved how the side effects of the memory manipulation / sharing also affected Yuumu, as this feature brings back to when Yugioh versus Yugioh dueled in their first duel, and we established that the twins had a sort of telepathic connection with each other. As for Yuumu and Yugioh wanting to destroy Monster Reborn, this makes a lot of sense, and I think it has more to do with the fear of this card being used by the wrong person, as we know what results can come from it. Yet seeing how hard Yugioh has struggled and fought, even though his road only leads to loneliness and solidarity, it really does make you want to support Yugioh in this situation and view Yuhi as more of the antagonist, which both people aren't wrong in this situation. It does also help to make you have a more realistic sense as to why Yuumu would want to take up the mantle of Otis as well. Because she's a kind person, she wants Yugioh to have his future in his timeline, while also making sure that he's confident that kids can still have a future in Rush Dueling. So overall, I really loved this episode as it continued to deliver on the hype. It didn't give us all the details, but it gave us enough to help keep us guessing and wanting more. So I'm looking forward to see how this episode concludes as this 3-part duel continues. Let me know your thoughts on this episode in the comments down below. Love to hear what you have to say, and it's good to be back and all caught up. Have a great day, alligator, matane, goodbye.